wouldn't blame him.
Exactly.
I wouldn't blame the man.
No.
But that's what people have done.
But that's what society is, that people can't afford
that's just one anecdotal
attorneys.
case, though, and
the
point is that attorneys should act in their best nature.
But every attorney also is individual, and they're unique, so they have their own style. It's kind of like even in police work.
Exactly.
You know, I had my style, and I would try to pass it on to folks just because I felt that what I learned from the people, what I learned from them was saying, that's the way I want other officers to be, Victor. I want other officers. So that's how I learned from the people to try to promote this style of policing. And you're talking about a style of being an attorney.
Exactly, and there's the good cops, there's insightful cops, there's corrupt cops, there's good attorneys and insightful attorneys and compassionate attorneys, and there's corrupt ones, just bankers, business people, everything. So it looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to Drugs, Crime, and Politics.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a quick comment.
Sure.
I'd like to compare the legalization of marijuana to the open container law. If you're of legal age and alcohol is legal, but you're riding up and down the street and you're irresponsible, you're putting yourself and someone in danger. But if you were to be a responsible person and know your limitations and maybe stay at home, don't drink and drive, and the same with marijuana, if it were to be made legal, stay home instead of driving, smoking, and be responsible.
Right, exactly.
Don't get out of control even if it is legal.
Thank you. Definitely.
And definitely, well, his analogy also applies to, it's like guns. People say, you know, guns don't kill people. It's people kill people. The same thing with alcohol. I mean, it's not, alcohol is not the problem. It's the people that abuse it. And the same thing with drugs or marijuana. You're right. If someone was responsible about it, but I think our approach again, I know we're running out of time, but our approach again, I think we just, if we start on a grassroots level, if we use an approach that's reasonable and having a conversation that's respectful, I think we really can. We can take this to the next level, and we need to, folks. I mean, our country has progressed a lot, our state and our city. But, you know, to have, you know, a governor that talks about it's possibly okay for us to secede from the Union, to make those comments because they're politically correct, they're convenient, because he is playing to a certain group of people. But if we are perceived that way, then we also, with all due respect, when we're not perceived any different than a governor. We got to use an approach that I think brings people on board.
Yes.
And I think we can, because it makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense what I've seen. What I've seen, that we got to make some changes and we got to improve, but we need the people to rally around this thought.
Definitely. Having that open, honest conversation. And there are so many websites that people can check out if anyone's watching that is not aware of these issues. MPP.org, normal.org, DPFT.org are great starting points. Drugsense.org is an excellent newsletter, in fact. And you've got, I know we need to wrap up the show here, but we'd love to have you on as a guest again, because I see you haven't even been able to touch upon your 12 reasons why drugs should be legalized.
You had all the good callers, and you know, you got a great audience out there, so thank them and thank y'all for having me.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So I'd like to wrap it up a Buford style, I guess, with letting our audience know that, first of all, we appreciate your calling, but we'd appreciate it much more if you make those calls to your legislators, and if you let people know.
Yes, what you're saying, on a grassroots level.
The people who are so passionate about and calling in, if you just call into your legislators during the day, write that letter, write it down on a pen and paper, put your thoughts down, and just send it to your legislator, just so that we can talk about it all day and all night. But if they don't know how you feel, then it doesn't matter to them. So just keep on making those calls. Talk about it with your neighbor, with your minister, with your coworkers. You'd be so amazed and surprised at how people are open when you talk calmly and rationally about this subject. So once again, this is Drugs, Crime, and Politics. We appreciate your listening tonight. We very much appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me on.
And Clay Jones, I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The present policy of drug prohibition is hopeless. It is hopeless. It will never get better. Literally, victory today is being defined as slowing down the pace of defeat. we ought to listen to science and medicine when it comes to whether marijuana or any other substance has a medical benefit.
The fact that marijuana is the less dangerous